Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, basketball fans of all ages, hello and welcome into the gymnasium here on the campus of Abington High School for tonight's season opening doubleheader. First, we got the girls' varsity team. It is the Hull Pirates visiting the Abington Green Wave. As always, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson, joined alongside tonight by the one and only Dr. James Madden. Doc, welcome back and happy basketball season.
Thank you for having me, Mad Dog. It's great to be back on the air once again for the beginning of what should be a fun season. And the Green Wave come into this one, their season opener. And this is tough for two different reasons. Both the Green Wave and Hull trying to find their footing as a team in their first game of the season and try to find an identity. And in a matchup standpoint, the Green Wave don't have much information on their opposing team besides they're led by a new coach in Jamie Standridge. So Hull really starting strong, looking to start strong in the first game with their new coach, Jamie Standridge. And this should be a fun season opener to what should be a fun season for the Green Wave. And the Green Wave lose the jump and is rather stolen by Mary Klein. And the Green Wave off to a good start. Coach Norton told us before the game they want to force a lot of turnovers, push the pace on the floor, and just really outmuscle Hull today. And that's what they've done so far in the first 8 seconds as Mary Klein got her first steal of the game. Williamson mid-range, no good, and it is going to be rebound by Hull. And Hull looking to push the floor as well. Orpin, one of the two Orpin sisters on the Hull roster. One of the players Coach Norton told us before the game to watch out for is number 5, which is Christina Orpin, and number 13, senior Lucy Peters. Ball stolen by Sarah Devaney. Green Wave already forcing their second turnover, but behind 2 steals by Devaney and Klein. Klein three-point attempt, no good. Rebound, a long rebound, falls all the way out to Lucy Peters.
Let's meet the rest of the starting lineups. James, first for Hull, Christina Orpin. Number 5, Emily Punchard. Number 11, Lucy Peters is wearing number 13. Amelia Donovan, number 14, and Ellie Thomas, number 22. There is only 2 seniors on this Pirates team. Meanwhile, for the Green Wave, as we were talking with Coach Dan Norton before this game, veteran-heavy roster. He's got 3 co-captains, all of which are juniors or seniors. Rebecca Ricks is one of them, number 25. Mary Klein is a senior, number 20. And Ella Williamson is number 10, a junior. Ava Williamson, the freshman. And Sarah Devaney is the other Green Wave starter.
And that comes with having a roster that had a lot of youth in the past years. We saw last year they didn't have many seniors. I think they only had 1 senior on their roster, and Ella Williamson was one of their biggest focal points on the offensive end of the floor. She was a sophomore. Sarah Devaney, Mary Klein, 2 juniors last year. So what comes with youth, obviously now they're getting older as a team, which usually leads to more success, and Coach Norton says this is a big year for them. And like I said, a lot of experience on this team, and Ella Williamson is a captain of this team, and she's at the free throw line, and she's looking to lead this team to some success this season.
Hits her first, and that is the game's first point. Abington with the 1-0 lead about a minute and a half into quarter number 1. The double team guard heavy, says Coach Dan Norton about his roster. They're going to look to press a lot, James.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, Coach Norton said his team is looking to force turnovers, push the tempo, and push the pace of the floor, and get some fast break points. That's something, not just Green Wave boys or girls program likes to do, but both of them that we've seen the past years for the Green Wave in both the boys and girls programs. They love to push the tempo. They love to control the pace of the game, and that's what Coach Norton's hoping for in this season opener.
Floater doesn't go for Ava Williamson. Hull gets the defensive rebound. This is now Ellie Thomas. Long pass up to Lucy Peters. Her 2 doesn't go and carried out of bounds by Peters. Abington will take over off the turnover.
And that's the, I believe, 3rd turnover the Green Wave have forced. Sarah Devaney and Mary Klein both came up with steals, and then they forced the throwaway by Lucy Peters as Sarah Devaney turns the ball over.
Fast break for Orpin off the glass and in. First points from the field tonight. Hull takes the 2-1 lead. Williamson, good no-look bounce pass. Now it's Ava Williamson off the glass and in.
First points of her high school career for the Green Wave varsity team, Ava Williamson, the freshman, showing that they can have some parity between the 4 experienced players and then the 1 freshman in the starting lineup, the sister of Captain Ella Williamson.
Ella, a sharpshooter last year, big from beyond the arc. Has yet to attempt a 3 tonight. Mary Klein takes the triple, and it doesn't go. Rebound is brought down by Amelia Donovan.
Something I've seen early is the Green Wave need to try and limit those second, third chance rebounds and make sure Hull only gets 1 opportunity on the offensive end of the floor. We saw an offensive rebound by Hull there, but luckily the Green Wave were able to force a jump ball and retain possession. And another thing I think the Green Wave have done fairly well so far, besides her fast break layup, is limiting what Coach Norton told us is one of their more dangerous players in Christina Orpin, the junior. So as long as they can contain her and limit her production on the offensive end of the floor for Hull, the Green Wave are going to find success tonight.
Rebecca Ricks wearing number 25 for the Green Wave. And a foul away from the ball called on Mary Klein. We thank you for watching this stream and every stream live on Abington Community Access and Media, youtube.com/AbingtonCamo2351/live. A lot of international viewers and viewers across the country. We have some folks watching down in Key West, where I've been told right by the pool it is 78 degrees.
With snow on the ground here, I'm jealous
snow
of
on the
them
ground
being
here.
In Key West. With 2 inches of snow last night, I'll take Key West 10 times out of 10.
Was not anticipating cleaning my car off this morning.
We have basketball, so it makes up for it.
Nice layup for Ella Williamson. 5-2 is the Green Wave lead. Short jumper too long, and then contact on the rebound attempts. Ava Williamson went flying in. No foul called. She was the last to touch it. Short 2 from the elbow is good.
Another player that Coach Norton said was one of the more dangerous players for Hull is senior Lucy Peters. We saw her knock down the mid-range jump shot, and we've seen both players he told us to watch out for with 2 early buckets.
Very short roster. Only 10 players, James, on this Pirates team.
Yeah, and that's just going to mean there's a lot more minutes being played by the starters, and you can tell, obviously, it's still real early, but I can imagine they're a very well-conditioned team because with a short roster and not a lot of manpower on the team, the players are going to have to be conditioned because someone gets in foul trouble, there's an injury, there's going to be next man up, and that's what I'd assume Jamie Standridge is looking for in her team in her first game of her Hull career.
Savannah Erickson is the first Green Wave substitution of the evening. Looking down low for Ricks. She has trouble handling the pass through double coverage. And Hull is able to come up with the turnover. Backdoor pass. The jumper doesn't go. Abington with the rebound. It is Erickson, the freshman. Sarah Devaney at the top of the key. Rotates to the far side wing. Now Erickson takes the triple and hits it for her first Green Wave career points.
The freshmen are showing out early on in their first career games. We saw Erickson just knock down that 3. Ava Williamson had a layup earlier on. Green Wave, like I said, the experience is the name of the game for them, but so is the youth.
Going to see Mackenzie Litzenberger come in, another one of those Green Wave seniors. She will replace Rebecca Ricks, who was just tagged for her second personal foul.
And Ricks, a junior, a captain on this team, one of the players Coach Norton said is going to be most important for them. And to have her with 2 early fouls and put her out for the rest of the first quarter and the majority of the second is going to be tough for the Green Wave.
Good design play for the Pirates, but the jumper didn't go. They come up with the steal, pickpocketing Devaney was Fallon Ryan. Ryan gets it back. Tosses to the far side corner for a 3 for Christina Orpin. It's good. Williamson gains half court. Hands off to Klein. Now Litzenberger back to Klein. Litzenberger in the paint. A lot of contact, no call. Hull comes up with a loose ball. Here is Fallon Ryan, the backdoor pass for the jumper. In and out. A couple bounces off the rim for Margot Harper. Now Orpin comes up with the intercepted pass. $1:30 left in the first quarter. It is 8-7 Abington. Tossed out of play off of Devaney. Hull will retain possession with 26 to shoot. Here comes Sarah Flanagan, another Green Wave senior.
In Christina Orpin, like I've previously said, but she's been all over the place. She's a tenacious defender. She's able to go get a bucket on the offensive end as well. And she's been the bright side. She has 5 of the Hull's early 7 points, and she's going to have to keep producing for this Hull team.
Another bad bounce off the rim for Hull. They're not getting them to fall tonight. This one off the back rim, another offensive rebound. Emily Punchard fighting with Litzenberger down low. Dual possession is called. Hull will retain possession. So miscommunication with the shot clock. The dual possession gives you a fresh 35 seconds this year, James.
And that's when you know it's basketball season, when there's shot clock problems. It's the beauty of the game of basketball. We see it at every level, whether it's resetting it prematurely, whether it's not resetting it. And you see the referee made a mistake, but he realized it's probably his first game too, so a little rusty, but it's only December, right?
Travel called. Abington takes over. "35 seconds seems like a very long time to shoot the ball."
It is, and that is kind of a crazy amount of time. MIA went away from the traditional 30 seconds, and 30 seconds is a lot in and of itself.
That's what it was last year, right?
Yeah, and I think 30 seconds is plenty of time for a shot clock, but 35, I'm not a fan of the 35 seconds, but my opinion doesn't really matter to the MIA, so who am I, right?
An organization that doesn't take a lot of feedback very well. Long pass to Ella. She takes the triple. No good. Rebound to Fallon Ryan.
In the Green Wave, once again, we saw it. Back-to-back possessions where they forced a Hull turnover, doing a great job on the defensive end of the floor, forcing turnovers and getting the possession back.
Last second shot. No good. The deep three was attempted by Erickson. We're at the end of the first quarter. 8-7 is the Green Wave lead by 1, James, in the first quarter of the 2022-2023 season.
Yeah, and the Green Wave really getting what they're looking for in transition, forcing turnovers, trying to get down the floor and get some transition buckets. Just shots aren't falling really early. We've seen Savannah Erickson knock down a 3, the Williamson sisters, each with 5 combined points. So the Green Wave really need to keep doing what they're doing on the defensive end of the floor, and shots will start falling in transition. In three-pointers, they've had some real open looks beyond the arc. So shots will start falling as long as they keep playing tough, tenacious defense. The Green Wave will be in a good spot.
Green Wave coaching staff, Dan Norton, Jenny Worden. What do you think the message that they're giving the team?
Just to keep doing what they're doing. You've seen Mary Klein, Sarah Devaney, Ella Williamson, Ava Williamson, the whole starting bunch playing great defense, and just keep playing with that fire. Keep first game, so you got to come out here ready to play, because if you come out flat-footed, Hull's in the same boat. They want to start the season off right in the win column, And as long as they can keep playing tough defense and keep doing what their game plan was to force turnovers, the Green Wave are going to be okay tonight.
It is Klein, Williamson, Ricks, Sarah Flanagan, and Savannah Erickson to start the second frame for Abington. Christina Orpin in there now, and she tosses it out of play. Margot Harper, along with Orpin, Peters, Donovan, and Fallon Ryan for the Pirates. Open three from the corner is good for Erickson.
Their second three-pointer of the day, Savannah Erickson, making her presence felt in her first career varsity game. 2 3-pointers, 6 points, the leading scorer thus far for the Green Wave.
Double team on the press. That's a backcourt violation. The ref saw it right on it as Ryan couldn't get around the double team and had to bounce the ball right on the half-court line. Good awareness by the official there.
And like I said, at the break after the first quarter, the Green Wave doing what they've done the whole game in the first quarter, forcing turnovers, back-to-back possessions.
That's Williamson down low. She's calling for it in the corner. She's wide open. She's still calling for it. Long football pass to Ella Williamson. Her three is good.
And you could see she wanted that real bad. No one was in a mile vicinity of her. Rebecca Ricks, cross-court pass, finds her, and Williamson knocks down a three.
Seemed like she was calling for that ball for a majority of the 35-second clock.
When you're feeling it, you want it, and she feels it tonight.
Far side three. Back rims out. Following the shot is Ella Williamson, and deflected out of play off of Hull. The Green Wave will retain possession. Klein to inbound. She finds Williamson, who wanted the catch and shoot. Rick spins and contact down low, out of play again off of Hull. The Rick shot was blocked. Green Wave will have 28 seconds to shoot now. Flanagan through contact, doesn't go, but she gets the foul. She'll be at the line for two.
Strong take there by Flanagan, the senior, in her first appearance of the season tonight. And Flanagan got downhill, was able to draw the contact, gives a chance for the Green Wave to get a 9-point lead here.
Bailey Herr is going to come in for Hull. The junior will replace Amelia Donovan. (16-7) is the Green Wave lead. 90 seconds into quarter number 2. A steal for Klein. She gives to Williamson. Nice move, spinning off the glass. It doesn't go. The rebound to Fallon Ryan. Williamson deflecting another pass, James. You can see just how much pressure the guards of the Green Wave are putting on this Pirates team.
Yeah, and that's important, I think, for the Green Wave because, like we said earlier, Hull in their first game just as well as the Green Wave, but in your first game, you're still going to be rusty. It's still hard to find an identity as a team. And the more pressure they can put on a ball handler, the more turnovers you will force. And we've seen the Green Wave, not sure how many exact turnovers they have forced, but they forced a lot, and that's why they've jumped out to an early 9-point lead.
Devaney re-enters. Very fluorescent-looking student section tonight for Abington.
I believe it's neon themed tonight. And obviously you guys can't see at home, but Mad Dog Matt Nelson came with the Christmas theme, the ugly sweater tonight for opening night.
Patriots on Monday Night Football had to bust out the Patriots. People call them ugly Christmas sweaters. I don't find them ugly. I think they're beautiful.
They have character.
They're works of art.
It's all about the character, right?
This is Orpin bringing it up for the Pirates. And able to keep it just in play is Orpin. She'll drive the lane and has it roll off of one of Abington's legs and out of play. Still 18 seconds to shoot. Be interested to see how many seasons this 35-second clock lasts.
It's an eternity.
I mean, realistically speaking, you could go the whole quarter with 15 possessions, 14 possessions.
I'm not a mathematician, so you'd have to bring someone else out here. But, you know, I'm just
that's both sides.
And I'm just thankful we have a shot clock because I did see a tweet the other day about, I think it's only 10, 12 states that do have a shot clock, and I'm thankful Massachusetts has implemented that.
Savannah Erickson's feeling it tonight. She's got 3 triples. 19-7, the Green Wave lead. To the corner for another Erickson 3. This one comes up short.
And that's the look you want if you're the Green Wave. Erickson has the hot hand tonight. Keep feeding it to her. Let her continue this hot streak and keep knocking down those threes.
A lot of three-point attempts. Not as many as Grinnell had the other night in their record-setting. Every single field goal attempt was a three-pointer.
How
they
about
put
that?
up 124 points. It's the first time in NCAA history that a team has not attempted a two-point field goal during a game. Long two for Ella Williamson is good.
And it shows you how much the game of basketball has changed. We went from 20 years ago, no one attempts threes, to now no one attempts twos. And thanks a lot, Steph Curry.
There's a couple of records that go along with Division III Grinnell. They, of course, are the originators of the Grinnell system, which involves rotating all 5 players off the court at every single whistle, which can be very tough to deal with as a broadcaster. I've seen it once in my career. They also had a kid put up an NCAA record 76 points, was it? I think his name was Jack Ryan a number of years ago in the NCAA tournament. He put up a lot of points.
They're a record-setting school.
Fallon Ryan hits the 2. 21-9 is the Abington lead now. 3:15 to go in the second quarter. Down low for Ava. Her bad angle rims out. Mary Klein's going to come back in, and a foul is going to be called on Erickson.
I don't know if I like that foul call. That might be my hometown bias kicking in, but it looks like she got a pretty clean piece of the ball, but that's why they're paid to do it, and I'm sitting up here and announcing.
That's going to be a backcourt violation as Ella couldn't corral the pass from Ava. Yeah, just imagine if one of these teams was rotating all 5 players out every 45 seconds.
And talk about both teams have the Green Wave with 2 pairs of sisters, the Williamson sisters and the Flanagan sisters, and Hull has another pair of sisters, the Orpin sisters. So talk about a broadcasting nightmare between 3 different pairs of sisters plus a new rotation every 45 seconds.
That'd be tough to deal with.
Hey, we're always looking for a challenge, right?
This is Ella Williamson. The spinorama finds her way into the paint, off the glass, no good. Tips the ball away. More pressure. Hull in danger of a 5-second violation here. 10 seconds bled off the shot clock.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure I'm assuming, did the Green Wave get a deflection on that press? I'm not 100% sure.
Must have been the ruling.
Yep. Because that's the only way I could see that there was not a 10-second violation if the Green Wave did make a piece of it and deemed that they did have possession at a certain point.
Williamson triple doesn't go. Ava gets the rebound. Back to her sister Ella. Now it's Klein. She thought about the three. Gives it back to Ella. Her long three comes up well short. The uncontested board to Emily Punchard. There's 1 minute and 22 seconds left in the second quarter. 27 seconds on the shot clock.
And it looks like there will be an offensive foul, maybe for an illegal screen.
Ellie Thomas called for the foul.
Both teams have done a great job not fouling, especially the Green Wave with the amount of pressure they've put on Hull on the defensive end of the floor. A lot of times translates to, a high foul count, but the Green Wave still only had 5 fouls late in the second quarter. So in good shape with Hull not even being in the bonus just yet.
Dual possession, good battle there. Lacey Brundage for the Green Wave.
We've seen a lot of jump balls early on in this one. I think that's the fourth one.
Ella Williamson gets her first break of the game with about 1 minute left in the second quarter. 3 for Orpin doesn't go. Offensive board putback attempt also doesn't go. Orpin, uncontested 3, airballs it out of play. And just like that, Ella's going to come back in.
Really I'd assume it comes down to is Coach Norton doesn't really want her on the defensive end of the floor and pick up a, garbage foul because she's important to this team, especially on the offensive end of the floor. And as long as she can stay out of foul trouble and reduce that foul count, they're going to be successful tonight.
Toss it out of play, looking for Erickson down low.
And we see it again. Abrams, the freshman, Bella Abrams, comes in for Ella Williamson. Ella Williamson stays close to the table, getting ready to check back in.
Abrams also a member of the Green Wave softball team.
Started as an 8th grader for them last year.
Great outfielder.
You're the Green Wave, you look for the last shot here because unless you find a quality look like that one, but if I'm running this offense, I dribble out, look for the last shot with 5 seconds to go.
Klein will take the 3. Rims out. And the buzzer sounds. We're at halftime. Hull yet to get to double digits, James. It is 21-9 at the break.
In the Green Wave, that's really what they were looking for in the second quarter. Up 1, 8-7 after the first. Going a 13-2 run during the second quarter. Jump out to a 21-9 lead. Fueled behind the sharp shooting effort from freshman Savannah Erickson. 3 3-pointers up to 9 points. The leading scorer for the Green Wave as they head into the half with a 12-point lead.
That's where we stand at the end of the first half of the 2022-2023 season. Abington with a 21-9 lead. We're going to step aside, take a quick break, and bring you second half action right after this. Hello and welcome back into the gym here at Abington High School for second half action between the Hull Pirates and the Abington Green Wave. Once again, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. Joined alongside Dr. James Madden. Doc, 21-9 the score at the end of the second quarter. The Green Wave have the lead, as you mentioned, behind the sharp shooting of freshman Savannah Erickson.
Yeah, the two trends of the first half for the Green Wave was defense, and they were able to force a ton of turnovers, something Coach Norton was hoping for coming into this game. And Savannah Erickson, coming off the bench, the freshman, her first career varsity game, knocking down 3 3-pointers. The leading scorer for the Green Wave thus far with 9 points.
Christina Orpin committing her first personal foul puts Mary Klein at the free throw line. She hits her first attempt. Doesn't go the second. Orpin strong to the basket off the bottom of the backboard. Abington comes up with a loose ball. Now it's Klein, and she took an extra step. Ella Williamson was calling for it in the corner.
And if you're the Green Wave, obviously you have a 13-point cushion here, but you really want to see her get going, especially when she finds those open looks in the corner, which seems to be her favorite shot and favorite spot on the floor. So if she can get going for the Green Wave, I think it'll be smooth sailing here in the third quarter and the second half as she forces another turnover, finds the steal. And that is her. Savannah Erickson with another one. Her fourth three-pointer of the night. 12 points for the Green Wave. Maybe the biggest spark for this Green Wave offense as they jump out to a 16-point lead.
She's got just shy of half of the Green Wave points, James.
She's making her presence felt here in her first career varsity game. The freshman playing real well for the Green Wave, especially her and Ava Williamson. But the future's bright here for the Green Wave.
Emily Punchard getting the down low bounce pass. Another three. That one, I think, was Klein. And a timeout called by Hull. 28-11, James. The Green Wave come out shooting pretty sharp here in the second half.
And this is the start you want for the Green Wave. They forced a couple turnovers. They gave up that bucket on the other end on the defensive end of the floor. But one of the biggest trends for the Green Wave has been the three-point shooting. They've shot a lot from beyond the arc. And in the first half, the three-pointers didn't fall as much as they had hoped. But in the second half, they're falling so far. We've seen Savannah Erickson knock one down. Mary Klein knocked one down. So the Green Wave are out and running here in the second half.
Look at the upcoming Green Wave girls schedule. On Friday, they travel to East Bridgewater to take on the Vikings. Next Monday night, they host the Sachems of Middleborough. And next Thursday, they travel to Randolph to take on the Blue Devils.
Touching on their Friday night game against East Bridgewater, a very strong girls program. Leading that girls program, the East Bridgewater Vikings, is Abington High School history teacher, Coach Stephen Moore. So little nugget in there for the Green Wave as they hit the road, take on the Vikings of East Bridgewater Friday night.
Do we know if Mr. Moore has any of the girls basketball team in his classes?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't have him as a teacher, but I'm sure Friday morning, Friday afternoon, whatever it may be, if he does have any of them, there's going to be a little friendly trash talk going back and forth.
Williamson comes up with a steal. Drives the lane. Bad angle, doesn't go. Didn't get enough height on it. And Hull comes away with the ball. Beautiful steal. Now in alone goes Erickson. She didn't get enough on it. Loose ball. Erickson, comes up with the ball. Now it's Orpin. Wild sequence there. Orpin, the overhanded pass. And a foul committed by Ricks. She doesn't like the call. Amelia Donovan drew the contact. Rather, that was Lucy Peters.
That's the third foul for Ricks, one of the captains on this team. And another thing, I try to stay unbiased and stay, being an official is a tough job. But look, to me, there was a lot of ball there. But like I said, it doesn't matter what I say as Peters heads the line as she misses her first free throw. Green Wave up 17.
Litzenberger comes in for Ricks. Williamson hands to Erickson. Now it's Klein. Williamson far corner. Three doesn't go. Donovan with the board. Now it's Peters. Peters all the way in. Doesn't get the bounce. Klein with the board. Now it's Devaney. Devaney lost it. Erickson, Johnny on the spot. Her long two doesn't go. Offensive board. Ella Williamson takes the far corner three. That doesn't go. Orpin with the rebound this time. And she is fouled and will be at the line for 2. Mary Klein called for the contact.
And going back down to the other end of the floor, Ella Williamson missed a three-pointer. It was halfway down the rim. It's really just been one of those nights for her. Really can't seem to have it fall from beyond the arc. And, hopefully, the Green Wave are up 16, so they have a bit of a cushion. But they'd like to see her, kind of find a hot hand and really, catch a hot streak as they get ready to, further their season. And because she's going to be a big part of their season this year if they do have any success.
She did hit a couple of three-pointers in that first half. But it usually takes a couple of games to get to know how the rims are going to work. And there's Erickson for another 3.
Her 5th of the game, up to 15 points, Savannah Erickson.
Lutzenberger the rebound. Erickson tosses to Devaney. Orpin comes up with a steal. And she goes too strong. Tapped out off of Orpin.
Great transition defense there by Mary Klein, getting down the court and drawing the miss from Orpin. She was able to then deflect the ball off of a Hull player and retain the possession as the Green Wave looked to extend their lead.
Oh no, Erickson, another 3. This one doesn't go.
And they got the right idea. Keep feeding the hot hand. Savannah Erickson practically hasn't missed tonight, so you just keep feeding her the ball. She's going to keep knocking down shots, hopefully.
Sarah Flanagan's going to come back in, replacing Devaney. Ella Williamson gives to Klein. Now it's Erickson. Back to Klein. Williamson to the corner. Erickson, another 3. Doesn't go. Rebound to Bailey Hurd. Orpin, double dribble.
And you like to see the confidence that Erickson has. And as a freshman in your first career varsity game, it's easy to be intimidated here because it's a different environment playing in a varsity basketball game. But you see she's knocked down 5 3-pointers tonight, so it's hard to not have confidence when shots are just falling for you.
Lutzenberger down low off the glass and in. Doesn't go. The rebound to Flanagan. Klein off the glass and in.
And Coach Norton will be happy with that one. They grabbed the defensive rebound, used the outlets all the way up the floor, find Mary Klein for an easy layup, give the Green Wave a 20-point lead.
Orpin goes off the glass, 35-17 the score. Klein to the corner for Flanagan. Erickson, a little bit offline for Williamson, who pirouettes to keep it in play. Klein lost the handles, gets it back. Off the deflection by Orpin. 2 Green Wave players in the same neck of the woods. 7 to shoot. Williamson strong off the rim. It takes a couple bounces off the metal and finds its home.
Strong finish there by Ella Williamson, not to be confused with her sister Ava Williamson. The Green Wave used pretty much all of their 35-second shot clock, just trying to run that clock down and make it harder for Hull to come back from this 20-point deficit.
That's still insane to me, a 35-second shot clock.
I can tell that you're not a fan. I wonder what our viewers at home think about the new rule change.
Hit us up on Twitter. Orpin in the corner. So it's Peters. The three comes up well short. Ella Williamson, the rebound. Devaney and Ava Williamson get ready to come back in. Litzenberger, the uncontested board. Ella took the long three, it didn't go. Klein with a fresh shot clock. And now Flanagan hits a triple. 39-17, 1:05 to go in the third quarter. And an extra step taken by Flanagan on the far side.
Substitutions, number 3, Ava Williamson. Number 12, Sarah Devaney. And number 1, Bella Abrams.
The Green Wave doing a little bit of substitutions to give some of their top players and their starters a break with 50 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Both co-captains that were on the floor come out. Long three doesn't go. Litzenberger took an elbow to the ear. The foul called on Emily Punchard, who did not walk away unscathed there. She took some contact as well.
Elbows flying, bodies flying.
That was Devaney trying to toss it down low. Out of play. 25 seconds left. Third quarter, 39-17 remains the score. Good skip pass into the paint. Hull rotates back out. Fallon Ryan. Now it's Orpin. Orpin's jumper doesn't go. And the shot got off in time, attempted by Bella Abrams, did not go. We're at the end of the third frame, James. 39-17 the score. Abington coming out shooting sharp, but everything kind of cooled off there in the later stages of the third.
Yeah, and that was the Green Wave's best offensive quarter, putting up 18 points, outscoring Hull by 10. 18-8, and the Green Wave jump out to a 22-point lead, 39-17, and looking to cap this one off, get into the win column in the first game of the season.
Great atmosphere here in the gym, of course. The great Sean Riley, the biggest Green Wave super fan in existence, doing the PA announcing and music.
A jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. He, of course, does the play-by-play for Green Wave football games. Also a very proud alumnus of Holy Cross out in Worcester.
Famous for the nuts and bolts, we got screwed as well.
The best thing that ever came from that call, if you know what we're referring to, you know. If you don't, Google or you go on YouTube and search high school commentator loses it, and that'll come up. So we're at the Division VI Super Bowl last year at Gillette Stadium. Abington versus Rockland. And the PA announcer there, Mike Riley of 98.5 The Sports Hub, who our executive director here at Abington, Kevin Tachi, is good friends with, finds me at halftime of that game, and we're kind of talking, and he goes, "Oh yeah, the nuts and bolts," and I'm like, "Those are our commentators. They're literally here right now. Do you want to meet them?" And he's like, he went all fangirl on us, and he's like, "Oh my God, I would love to meet those commentators, the ones that had the nuts and bolts call."
Should have asked for an autograph. Maybe it's worth something. Who knows?
They did take a picture. There's a picture somewhere of the Nuts and Bolts commentators and Sarge Mike Riley from 98.5 The Sports Hub. Because every year on Thanksgiving they do the best high school calls, and every single year, with no question, the Nuts and Bolts call is number 1 on the top 10 most ridiculous calls.
As it should be. One of the most memorable calls in Green Wave sports history.
Of course, the great Kevin Whalen took off his headset during that call and is screaming at the refs. Abrams takes a tray, it doesn't go. Screaming at the refs, that's horrible. It's a 5-yard backwards pass, a lateral. Orpin takes the open 3, doesn't go. Air ball brought down by Punchard. Ella Williamson comes up with a steal. Ava gets her own rebound. Rather, that was Abrams. Now the press on, and that's got to be a travel, or it comes up with a steal. Now Ella takes the short 2. That doesn't go. Rick's off the glass and good. As we would say in hockey, James, a lot of play between the blue lines right now.
Just kind of back and forth, pushing the tempo a little bit, and both teams doing a great job forcing turnovers. We saw Rick's get a little cleanup board and lay it in for a Green Wave 22-point lead.
It's Emily Punchard cutting the deficit to 20 points now, 5:23 to go in the fourth quarter. Speaking of hockey, Green Wave starting the season with authority, a 10-1 victory over Blue Hills Regional.
And I'm going to see if I can test my memory, see if I can get all the goals right. So we had Evan St. Martin with 3, Jake Quinn with 2, so that's 5. Hunter Grafton with 2 is 7. We had Colin McDermott, Colin Crocker, and that's 9. I'm missing one. So whoever scored the 10th goal, don't be mad at me, but it's a lot of goals to keep track of.
I think Grafton might have had a Hattie too.
Could have. That could be what it is. One of my good friends. I don't want to give him more credit than he deserves.
So Erickson just hit another 3-pointer. That is by far the story of the game so far, James.
Yes, it is. She, I believe, hit 3-pointer number 6, up to 18 points for the Green Wave. All of her points coming via the 3-pointer. And talk about starting your Green Wave career off right. Like I said, only a freshman, first career game. And she makes her presence felt in the Green Wave basketball program as well as the South Shore League with 6 3-pointers tonight.
Another one from the top of the key. This one doesn't go. Let's play a little connect the dots. So Savannah Erickson's got 6 3-pointers tonight. Assistant coach Jenny Worden, a former Stonehill Skyhawk. The Skyhawks defeated Bryant University yesterday behind Emily Bramante's 38 points. She had 6 3-pointers.
Full circle as she picks up a steal. She's really doing it all for the Green Wave. A few steals, 6 3-pointers.
Ricks, nice move off the glass and in.
I'm sure you can agree with me when I say this, but definitely the Green Wave's MVP tonight.
She is almost outscoring Hull by herself. It's a one-possession game between Erickson and Hull.
As we see Harper knock down the 3-pointer.
Klein takes the triple, and it's good. There's more subs. Lacey Brundage is going to come back in. Lucy Peters for the Pirates. So in talking with Coach Dan Norton before the game, James, he said, we know what we've got with at least 4 of our stars. The 5th starter is going to be a little bit of maybe a revolving door until we figure it out. Do you think they figured it out?
It's really early in the season because, anything could really happen. But the way Ericsson's shot the ball, I think, Coach Norton going into their game Friday night against East Bridgewater, it's going to be hard to not have her in that starting lineup because, with that production, she automatically puts you in a good spot to win a game. And in a game where they're going to need a lot of scoring against an East Bridgewater team that went deep into the tournament last year and had a big win in their first game of the year this season. So it's going to be a tough matchup. And Ericsson provides a big cushion on the offensive end of the floor. We've seen tonight with her 6 3-pointers. So, I think Coach Norton is going to have to make that decision, put her in that starting lineup on Friday night.
In alone goes Harper. She missed the easy meatball. Ricks comes down with the rebound and is then fouled by Fallon Ryan. Williamson calling for it. She gets it, takes the deep 3. Is good. A couple bounces off the metal. Second time tonight, James, where she's had her hand in the air for like half of the shot clock. And then nails the 3.
And she really likes to see that one go down because, she's, had a tough night from beyond the arc and shooting from the field. And to give her more confidence as she sees what should be her final shot of the night fall, the Green Wave up big, 28 points. We see senior Shayna Varvitsiotis, one of the star pitcher of our great softball team, come and check in for her first varsity appearance of her career.
Has not played since the 6th grade, James, and Erickson makes it a 1-possession game once again, 24-21.
7 3-pointers.
We might be talking school record territory here.
Yeah, it is interesting to see what the school record for 3-pointers in a game is, but it would be hard to believe for me, someone who has hit 7, because 7's a lot by any margin.
Brundage takes the 3. It's good.
Shots are falling now for the Green Wave from beyond the arc.
90 seconds remain. Devaney tips the rebound to Ricks. And a timeout called. We'll see some more subs. Abrams, Litzenberger, and Flanagan in.
Looks like Erickson will finish off her night with 21 points, 7 3-pointers. By far the story of the game for the Green Wave, along with their great defense, forcing turnovers, getting up the floor, pushing the tempo, something Coach Norton had hoped for and received coming into this one.
58-24. Varvitsiotis takes the 3. It comes up short. Litzenberger grabs it down low. Finds Abrams. Abrams takes the 3. That gets blocked. Now Litzenberger. And Hull comes away with the ball under a minute to go. That was about 16 travels all in one that were not called. The bucket is good. Abrams will just about dribble it out. There's 35 seconds left, but a 5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Abrams steps inside. Now Brundage far side. 3 doesn't go. The board tipped, but Abrams steals it away. Shot clock off, and Abington will dribble it out.
Talk about controversy with dribbling it out. I don't know if you've seen, but in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns, New Orleans Pelicans got into an ensuing brawl about Zion. Phoenix didn't take kindly. Zion Williamson went for a 360 dunk, up 20 points as the time expired. Suns didn't like it, and those teams already don't like each other, but a little gamesmanship from the Green Wave, not trying to force any shots with the shot clock off, and they'll secure this 32-point victory as we have Lucy Peters head to the line with 3 seconds to go.
If you get to that point, if you're in the NBA at the highest level of basketball, do it. Go for it. Show out. You're up 20. That's on the other team's defense.
Yeah, and it's kind of totally unrelated. Something, for baseball, the unwritten rules of, bat flips and whatever it may be. If you don't want to see a guy bat flip, you don't want to see a guy, quote unquote, show out in front of you guys and, showboat.
Don't give him the opportunity.
Don't be down 20 points. I mean, there's one simple remedy to that, and the Green Wave pull off a 30-point victory, move into the win column, 1-0.
All right, so 21 points for the freshman, Savannah Erickson. Quite the debut here in her first high school game, James. She comes up 7 points shy of defeating Hull on her own. 30-point victory for the Green Wave.
Yeah, Savannah Erickson, like we said throughout the broadcast, stole the show for the Green Wave, 7 3-pointers, which, don't quote me on this, could be a school record, who knows. But by far my player of the game and the MVP for the Green Wave, starting the season off right, getting them into the win column, and putting the best foot forward for the Green Wave.
58-28, the final margin. The Green Wave victorious by 30. They start the season in the win column. We hope you'll stay tuned. In about 15 minutes from now, we will have the boys' first matchup of the season as they take on the Pirates in the back end of our opening night doubleheader. We hope you will stay tuned to Abington Community Access and Media until tip-off about 15 minutes from now. On behalf of Dr. James Madden, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. We will see you next game.